BiomedRx Optimum Woman is the only woman's high-potency full-spectrum multiple vitamin supplement to contain 56 nutrients, including those most important for today's woman, such as calcium for bone health, iron for healthy red blood cells, beta-carotene, biotin for nail and hair health, gamma-linoleic acid from evening primrose oil, octasanol, grapeseed extract, a potent antioxidant important for maintaining capillary strength, and vegetarian digestive enzymes. Visit www.biomedrxsupplements.com.
Gold label quality BiomedRx CBD oil is made from organic hemp that is locally grown, glyphosate-free, gluten-free, non-GMO, homogenized, third-party tested, and CO2 extracted. Visit www.biomedrxcbd.com.
Hi, this is Devin Lockett, the president of Job Site Route. As the son of a general contractor, I know how difficult it can be to get good food on the job site. And letting your construction workers leave the job site to buy lunch just takes valuable time away from them being on the site. I've developed an app and a program that will bring a steady stream of food trucks to your job sites every month for the low price of only $100 per month per site. That comes up to about $3 per day to have a steady stream of food trucks coming to your job sites all day, every working day. You can also contact the food trucks ahead of time and pre-order your food from the menu on our app. This saves valuable time for your construction workers and for you. It also sends a variety of delicious food served on Southern California food trucks to your job sites all day. When you think about it, it only makes sense to join the Job Site Route network. Hello. Thank you for joining me here at home, here in the studio, here in my art studio. I got a few things. Thank you. I got a few things I want to talk to you guys about. Actually, I got one thing I want to talk to you guys about. It's called Neocortical Dysregulation. I know it sounds strange or complicated, or it sounds like a bunch of mumbo jumbo. But what happens is when we experience the vicissitudes of life, the ups and downs and all of the emotional roller coasters that come with life, the conversations, the arguments, the, getting of bad news, receiving bad news, opening up very shocking bills, the stress of living day to day and being worried about what's going to happen in the future, and just the ups and downs of life, arguments, people literally working on your nerves, right? We tend to accumulate a state of dysregulation in the neocortex. So let me back up a little bit. What is the neocortex? The neocortex, the new cortex, is that outer part of your brain that is kind of wrinkly, looks fatty and wrinkly, right? It's what you see when you see the human brain. Well, the neocortex can actually suffer some physical damage as a result of our emotions, as a result of the things that we go through in life, as a result of abuse, and as a result of our experiences. The over accumulation of this dysregulation is what we call PTSD, or post-traumatic stress disorder. And most of the time, we associate post-traumatic stress disorder with combat, with war, with the war experience. And you got to forgive my New Orleans accent. Some people say war. But the overaccumulation of this dysregulation, little kinks and knots forming in your brain, in the neocortex of your brain, prevent your brain from reaching an alpha state, or the most comfortable state of neocortical arousal or cortical arousal for human beings. Okay? When we're born, when we're children, our brains primarily operate at around 7 hertz in the theta zone, believe it or not. Before you develop the critical faculty at about 7 or 8 or 9 years old, your brain is operating in theta. So if you remember the joys of childhood, they were probably joys that sunk in. That's why it's very important to give children joyful experiences when they're small, and not to expose them, especially before 8 years old, to arguments and turmoil and just all kind of crap in the house, okay? Because children can hide inside of themselves. A lot of what you see called the autism spectrum is actually, they used to have a theory of called the refrigerator mother, that if a woman was cold and unloving to her child, that would cause a child to want to turn in upon him or herself, because the world outside doesn't feel like a safe place. Okay, and that's only a theory. Some people call it sexist. So I know either way, whether it's sexist or not, I know it's controversial. So I'm not going to go into that. I'm not going to go into the refrigerator mother theory. However, one other theory, well, not other theory, but one thing that definitely does happen is to people with autism. Oh yes, go right ahead and hit the like button and subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and type something in the comments to let me know that you appreciate this work. I really appreciate it. And while you're at it, please go ahead and subscribe and hit the CashApp BiomedRx TV. BiomedRx CashApp BiomedRx, or $BiomedRx. Anyway, now, you don't have to go to war to get a state of neocortical dysregulation. In fact, most people who are dysregulated, and that's the term I'm going to use for the rest of this video, most people who are dysregulated don't even know it, and they haven't been in war, and they haven't been in combat. Now, the brain is a very complex organ, And we experience stress in different areas of the brain depending on what's going on, depending on what we're thinking about, what we're experiencing, and what part of the brain we're accessing. So, for example, we find typical dysregulatory patterns in most people in the parietal lobe and some here on the temporal lobes, okay? And all over the brain, depending on what a person is experiencing. You know, if a person's a drug addict, they're going to be dysregulated everywhere. So I'm not, you know, what I'm saying is not written in stone. I don't want you to think that I'm written in stone. And I have to make this claimer. Of course, you know, I am not a doctor, and nothing that you see on the Devin Lockett channels nor BiomedRx TV should be construed as medical advice. I'm only giving my own insight here. I've been doing neurofeedback since the year 2015 or 2014, I believe. And in that time, helping other people, I also had the opportunity to do neurofeedback on myself. Lots of it. Actually, I've got thousands of hours of neurofeedback on my own head. If you follow this channel and the Devin Lockett, the other Devin Lockett channel, and the BiomedRx TV channel, you'll find many videos of me actually performing neurofeedback on myself. In fact, I'm probably going to do my own neurofeedback live on this channel tomorrow morning, and then you'll have a chance to check that out. Now, when a person has a severely dysregulated neocortex, it makes it, like I said before, it blocks circulation. It blocks not only the circulation of blood, but also the circulation of your endorphins. And it makes it nearly impossible for you to achieve an alpha state, which is a state of, for adults, a state of being basically relaxed and happy, right? Awake, yet relaxed and happy. This can be easily achieved with cannabinoids such as BiomedRx CBD that you see down here on the bottom of the screen, right? And marijuana and beer and wine. Not all drugs, not all alcohol, beer and wine and marijuana happen to produce an alpha state readily, pretty easily, pretty quickly for most people. And that's why when you go driving, right, you go driving for 3-4 hours or whatever, you do a long drive, or you had a stressful day at work, a lot of people want to self-medicate. I don't pass judgment on people who self-medicate, because I'm a human like everyone else, and this is, you know, I'm a brain trainer, and so everyone who I meet is in a state of dysregulation, and everyone who I meet, most everyone who I meet, has figured out some way to self-medicate. Now, you know, we have a puritanical view about using substances, and so we think, oh, well, you shouldn't have to smoke, or you shouldn't have to drink, or you shouldn't have to. Yes, this is true. This is true. You should develop your own coping mechanisms without having to resort to chemicals in order to reach an alpha state, or in order to be at peace. And that's what I'm here to talk about right now, being at peace, okay? After, like I said, thousands of hours, literally thousands of hours of neurofeedback therapy, I have just about completely rid my own neocortex of dysregulation. This puts me kind of in a state of being clear of being affected by my past or by experiences that I've had in life. It gives you a much greater sense of emotional control, and it puts your brain kind of back to the place where it was when you were a baby or when you were born. You definitely have a lower tolerance for alcohol and drugs and everything else, because you're dealing with a more healthy, regulated neocortex. In fact, you're going to find that the desire to do those things is going to disappear after you've wiped away the dysregulation in the neocortex. And then you're going to think, well, if the desire goes away, some people decide to become a teetotaler,
And some people, which is fine, right? Some people decide to walk away from chemicals and everything, such as myself. I'm sitting here drinking my 7-Eleven water, and I'm about to go, crash in a couple of hours, and
even superheroes and supermodels need a daily dose of nutrients to help make life more super. BiomedRx Supplements is making it easy to get exactly what you need. From kids to seniors, they've got something for everyone. Pretty cool, right? Check out their products at BiomedRxSupplements.com.
All right. Thank you. Give me time to check my phone during the commercial. And you're going to find that, can't even remember where I was. I was talking about I'm all over the place talking about dysregulation. And you find that some people decide that, well, if you recognize the difference between needing and wanting to indulge in adult substances, then you can continue to indulge. You can continue to socially indulge if you feel like it, as long as you have someone to drive you home, because you're going to be a lightweight once you get rid of the dysregulation in the neocortex. And some decide to just walk away and leave it alone altogether. Most come to kind of a little bit of both, a little gray area between both. Which is to say, if you run out of weed, for example, you're not on a mission to get some, because you don't need it. It's maybe something that you may socially enjoy to do with others. Which brings me to the topic of my conversation, right? The hell of dysregulation. I'm hearing a lot about, when I discovered neurofeedback, I thought to myself, if I'm feeling this much relief from training my brain repetitively in close interval until I got rid of the dysregulation, if I'm feeling this level of relief, then what must all of the dysregulated people in the world be experiencing? And then I also came to the understanding that, wow, being a person who has even experienced neurofeedback or experiences neurofeedback to the point where you can do it, they can do it, I can do it to myself every day, right? That makes me a very rare person. I would say I'm probably less than 0.1% of the human population. That would be neurofeedback clinicians and neurofeedback clients. And even neurofeedback clients don't experience the same relief as neurofeedback clinicians who take the time to apply the discipline and perform the training on their brain every single day. Now, there are entire industries built around the fact that most of society is dysregulated. The alcohol industry, the pharmaceutical industry, and of course the illicit drug industry. So a lot of people are walking around with their head in knots that don't really have to be. And I would wager to say that everyone in the prison population is severely dysregulated. That makes me sad. It really does. It makes me sad because I know a lot of nice people, good people, not criminals, not psychopaths, not antisocial people, but a lot of normal people are walking around with dysregulated neocortices, and they suffer in silence, okay? Yet we do have a drinking and drug epidemic, I guess you could say, or situation that's not only across the United States, but it's global. When you lose your dysregulation, you discover that life is different. Life is different because you are different. You're going to find that you're not as reactionary. You're going to find that you probably don't even care about certain things that you used to care about. You're going to find that your responses to certain situations and stressors in life is different. It's different than before. You're going to find success in neurofeedback therapy, okay? And your life is going to change accordingly. Now, you may experience some inertia from the habits that you formed while you were building your dysregulation. You may have friends that say, hey, come out and have a drink. And you're like, oh, okay, sure. And then you continue to do the things that you did before simply out of inertia, but not necessarily because you need to do them. In fact, Sue Othmer, my instructor of EEG biofeedback or neurofeedback at the EEG Institute, told me about a client who actually sought psychotherapy to help him divorce his friend of marijuana because he got to the point of finally being able to put it down and not pick it up, and not have the need to do it. You know, I was in the company of a very lovely young lady just recently, very beautiful young lady. And I'm not going to say your name, baby. Shout out. Who I'm beginning to work with at the clinic. And it gave me an opportunity to have a peek into kind of where I was when I was dysregulated, okay? The constant need for pacification, the indecisiveness, and like I said, dysregulation can actually negatively affect your personality and character, your very character, because you're suffering. You're suffering inside your own head, and you're living your life in a manner, you're living your life as a person who is suffering. You're living your life as an ill person. And most people don't realize that because levels of dysregulation can build gradually. And, you're just a person like everyone else standing at the bar ordering a drink, okay? Or getting a bag of weed or whatever your drug of choice is, or talking to your doctor and getting prescription drugs or whatever method of medication that you have to do. Like I said, I don't judge, right? I'm a brain guy, so I don't judge. But when you come out of that, when you return to just your normal humanity, when you turn to the state of the way you were before you accumulated your dysregulation, before you were traumatized in life, then life looks a lot better. Life is a lot better, and you are free. You're free. You're free from the hell of dysregulation. Now, why do I say hell? Why do I use the term hell? You might want to know. You might ask. Let me take a swig of water before I answer that question. Because from the traditional understanding, the religious understanding, hell is not only a place of suffering, but it's also a place that you can't escape, right? And when a person's problems are actually inside their own head, first of all, not only do we have a stigma about mental health and mental health issues where people don't want to admit that what they're going through, but how many people actually have access to EEG biofeedback that can actually physically remove the dysregulation from the neocortex? Okay? Not many. Like I said, I believe I'm probably part of a 0.01% of the population that actually has access to this technology to the extent where I can work it out of my own head by doing however many hours are necessary. And when you observe someone who is still very dysregulated, for me as an empath, my heart goes out because you want to take that person and wipe their brain and get rid of the dysregulation, but it doesn't work that way. Neurofeedback is a discipline. You have to do it pretty much every day. Not every day, but you have to do it frequently. You have to do it you have to use multiple sessions, and preferably these sessions should be in close interval. Okay? The brain is very elastic, so the brain is going to try to bounce back to where it was. If you only do 1 session or 2 sessions, you're not going to really get the benefit of neurofeedback. The neurofeedback is only going to benefit you if you put in a minimum of 20 sessions. We sell our therapy in blocks of 20 sessions. Okay? So you got to take that into consideration. It's a discipline. It's just like, going to the gym to build your muscles, right? I mean, you can go to the gym once and get a good workout, but you're not going to see results in the mirror. Of course you're not, because you're just getting started, because you just got started. And it's a discipline. You have to do it frequently, multiple times, and you preferably should do them in close interval. All right? Now, that having been said, like I said before, my heart goes out to people who are still dysregulated, because those people, their heart can't be at peace and their mind can't be at peace, because they're constantly trying to find whatever it is that can calm the dysregulation and at least help their brain return to an alpha state. And this makes people make decisions that are very detrimental to themselves. And I'm not just talking about drinking and using drugs. That's obvious, right? But
Gold label quality BiomedRx CBD oil is made from organic hemp that is locally grown, glyphosate-free, gluten-free, non-GMO, homogenized, third-party tested, and CO2 extracted. Visit www.biomedrxcbd.com.
But just look at all of the things that people go through in order to pacify their minds, in order to self-medicate. It isn't the self-medication that's the big problem, although the self-medication does cause dysregulation. Drinking causes dysregulation of the neocortex. Drugs cause dysregulation of the neocortex, or at least they exacerbate the dysregulation of the neocortex. But the chances that people take, right? Buying drugs, that's taking chances right there, because you really don't know. You don't know what you're taking. You don't know who you're dealing with. You don't know this is situation. And drug transactions kind of can tend to become violent, and there's all kind of crap in the illicit drug world. There is a classification of drugs now called maintenance drugs. The pharmaceutical industry, as far as I'm concerned, has gotten out of control. And you can very easily, with the assistance of a medical doctor, get yourself addicted to prescription drugs. Now, many people think that because it was prescribed by a guy with a white coat on, that it's legit, and that they're not an addict. No, you're an addict still. You're an addict, and you are, even with prescription drugs, still exacerbating the dysregulation of the neocortex and making it worse. That's the state of addiction, right? It's a spiral. It's a downward spiral, because you're heavily dysregulated, which means you feel as though you need the substance, and then you take the substance, and the substance causes more dysregulation, making you feel as though you need it even more. It's a very, very, very nasty, nasty thing. But I was thinking about traveling as well. I've been to, probably 60 countries, maybe, I don't know. I've traveled a lot. I've filled up 3 passports, front to back, front cover to back cover. And I like to travel. You can't do the things in most countries that you can do in the United States. We enjoy a level of freedom, especially with reference to drugs and alcohol, that most people in the world don't enjoy. So when you go to foreign countries and, drink, make an ass out of yourself and get arrested, that's a terrible thing, because you can be locked up for a very long time in a foreign country for something that you think you should be able to get away with because of the environment here in the United States. Drugs are a much worse situation. Many people lose their lives being involved in illegal and illicit drugs in foreign countries. The laws in many foreign countries are very strict compared to the laws in the United States, and you can find yourself in prison for a very, very long time. And I think about people who travel who are so dysregulated and have built up the habit of, having their casual drugs. Like I say, I'm not speaking in judgment of self-medication, because I understand that people have to do what they have to do in order to feel good. However, the circumstances that will arise when you take that habit into a foreign country and you think that it's funny or it's cute, or all you got to do is ask the right little kid where you could get some weed or something, and then you're back doing the things that you were doing before. And then maybe you feel like you can walk down the street smoking a joint, and that the local police in that country is not going to mind, just like the local police in California don't mind. And you're very, very wrong. You could find out that you're very, very wrong, and you could find yourself in a really, really bad pickle. Alcohol. There are people who drink and risk their careers. They drink and risk their education. They drink and risk their jobs. They drink and risk their social status. I was walking past a lady at the gym the other day, and I couldn't help smelling the reek of alcohol, right, on her person. And I'm wondering, wow, is this a person who maybe had a few glasses of wine and, their company left, and they said, well, let me go to the gym and work out? Or is this a person who has to have this just to get through the day? It makes me feel sad. It really does. It makes me feel sad for these people, because I know that I can help them, and I know that helping them is going to be kind of expensive, not only with reference to money, because my time has to be paid for. I must be compensated for my time. I'm not going to work for free, but also with reference to time. Okay, not too many people are willing to hear, even without the cost of money, I can help you. I can get rid of your dysregulation. I can take away your need to smoke a joint every 15 minutes. That's right. Hit the subscribe once again, and like, comment. Let me know that I'm doing great. Thank you. But there's a commitment involved. Like I said, you need a very minimum of 20 sessions of neurofeedback in order to appreciate the results. And people say, well, is 20 all I'm going to need? I'm not going to lie to you. No, it's not. No, it's not. But if I told you that, let's move it to the body. Let's put it to the physical body. If you came to me and you were out of shape, and I said to you, hey, why don't you come and do yoga at this studio 20 times, 20 yoga sessions, right? So we're talking about 7 weeks of going 3 times a week, right? Believe me, you will feel better and you will look better if you maintain that yoga schedule. Years ago, I was on the television show Exhale. Steve Ross, the famous yoga guy, I was on his television show Exhale. And in order to be on the show, we had to practice doing yoga at his studio 3 times a week. And I was only doing it for 6 weeks. But so I guess I'm right on by saying 20 sessions of yoga will produce some physical changes that you would be very happy to see in yourself. Some physical and perhaps some emotional changes as well. However, it is a discipline and you must follow through. You must change your diet, you must consume more water, and you definitely have to do your yoga sessions. Not too many people are willing to do that. Look at how many young guys want muscles, but how many young guys actually have muscles. And that distinction is the distinction between those who are willing to commit to the sessions and those who are not. And it's very unfortunate because it's like one of those Chinese finger traps where the harder you try to get out, the more it squeezes your fingers and you can't get your fingers out. Because when a person is severely dysregulated, they tend to be impulsive. One of the behaviors of severely dysregulated neocortex is impulsivity. Okay, not really thinking before you act, and not having much patience, not being able to sit down and relax and enjoy life. Now, there may be some issues beneath most dysregulated people that can be addressed in talk therapy, and I'm absolutely, aware of that. I'm completely cognizant of that. In fact, I work with a psychiatrist, a psychologist, licensed psychologist. Shout out Sam, my man. Together, we work very closely, and I refer people to him as well as he to me. Especially when we're doing alpha theta neurofeedback. Alpha theta neurofeedback has two reward frequencies, one in the alpha state, the relaxed, awake state, and one in the theta state, which is around 7 hertz. This is the state of REM sleep, rapid eye movement sleep, light sleep. It's the state of that you're in when you're dreaming. It's also the desired state. The alpha theta state is the desired state for hypnotherapists. When you are going through alpha theta neurofeedback, now I'm not going to give, I don't give clients alpha theta or synchrony neurofeedback until you've done at least 20 sessions of infralow, because we have to address the dysregulation in the neocortex. Okay? Once that's taken care of, then we can go into the more advanced therapies such as alpha theta. Well, when you're in alpha theta,
BiomedRx Optimum Woman is the only woman's high-potency full-spectrum multiple vitamin supplement to contain 56 nutrients, including those most important for today's woman, such as calcium for bone health, iron for healthy red blood cells, beta-carotene, biotin for nail and hair health, gamma-linoleic acid from evening primrose oil, octasanol, grapeseed extract, a potent antioxidant important for maintaining capillary strength, and vegetarian digestive enzyme. Visit www.biomedrxsupplements.com.
I don't know why, but that commercial always makes me smile. Anyway, let me get back to what I'm saying. When you're undergoing alpha theta neurofeedback, you should also, it would help to undergo talk therapy, because you're stirring up your subconscious mind. You're stirring up things that are in your theta zone and you're bringing them into the alpha zone. You're taking things from the subconscious mind and you're bringing them into the conscious mind. So, I'm a big fan of talk therapy. I believe everyone needs it. I believe even if you're a healthy person or even if you've already undergone, it's good to get checkups from time to time. I believe that, these professionals are valuable professionals and that mental health is a real thing. And to the extent that we ignore the benefits of mental health, then we remain dysregulated and we remain dysfunctional and we maintain a lower quality of life than we can and we deserve to experience. Okay? So life as a re-regulated, I guess that's a term. I'm going to make up a term. Re-regulated. Life as a re-regulated person gives you an opportunity to look compassionately at those who are still severely dysregulated and those who really never find an avenue to address the kinks in their neocortex, right? And my thing is love, right? My natural state is love. I mean, I can accept that about myself, right? when left to my devices, what I want to do is give and share and love to everyone, okay, friends, family, everybody. Yet, severely dysregulated people are not there. Even if it may be in their character to be there, they can't be there because they're in a state of suffering. And nothing makes that more obvious, nothing makes that more apparent than observing a person who is dysregulated. The problem with that is trying to convince the person to muster up the stoicism to get in my clinic and to do their therapy in close interval as they can. And I would give them long sessions because the effects are cumulative, right? They really are. The effects of longer sessions, like for example, the average, the session length for clients is 30 minutes. But if you come to my clinic and I don't have someone waiting in the hallway and you want to continue training, then I'll allow you to continue training for an hour or even longer. If you're watching a movie, you want to continue watching the movie until it's over. Most movies are an hour and a half. I'll let you do that because doing an hour-long session is literally tantamount to doing 2 half-hour sessions. And the effects, the shift will happen, right? You ever remember when you were in school and you were learning the times tables or, I don't know, a language or, anything, you find that they make you repeat what you're doing. They make you do it repetitively. When you go to learn how to ski, right? You got the ski instructor yelling at you to get back up, get back up, get back up. And, you just keep on trying. Well, eventually it sticks. Just like when you're riding a bike, right? It sticks. And then you never forget it because the brain learns. We have an expression in neuroscience, shift happens. You will provoke a permanent shift in cognitive function by doing repetitive neurofeedback therapy in close interval, especially. Okay? But it is a discipline. It is something that you have to commit to doing for yourself. You have to do it repeatedly. You have to do it for as long a time as you are allowed to do it, and you have to do it until the dysregulation in your neocortex is gone. However, once you accomplish that, just like accomplishing a college degree, once you accomplish that, those changes are yours permanently. That shift in cognitive function has taken place permanently. And then you will be able to observe the world through my eyes. You will be able to observe the world the way I observe the world, right? Which is as a completely, like I said, re-regulated, if I can make up that term, re-regulated human being. And then you start looking around and saying, oh my God, look at the chances that I was taking. Look at the risks that I was taking. Look at how rude I was being under the influence. Look at the dates that I was ruining and look at the relationships that I was ruining. Look at the jobs that I may have hampered. All because my brain could not return to the alpha frequency state. And my heart goes out to people who are still dysregulated. I've treated a lot of troops with neurofeedback for PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. A lot of veterans, and I still treat veterans for PTSD. And I am a veteran who at one time had a certain amount of PTSD, so I understand, right? My heart goes out and I identify. I can totally understand, right? But I just want to talk today about how interesting it is from the perspective of a person with a regulated neocortex when he or she encounters actually the vast majority of the world's population, which is still in a state of dysregulation. Personally, I believe that neurofeedback should be mandatory for all incarcerated persons in the United States. At the very least, you're going to make life easier on the COs if you provide neurofeedback to prisoners. And maybe, at the very most, you can actually accomplish rehabilitation of the people who are locked up. Now, I know there are psychological issues, psychiatric issues, chemical issues, character issues, that's a big one. I totally understand that. But to the extent that you can take care of the physical, the knots in the head, the dysregulation of the neocortex, believe me, all of those other issues are gonna solve themselves. They really are. You know, I was gonna make this a call-in show, but I can't really do that because I'm not in touch with a consensus of neurofeedback clinicians right now. I mean, I was before when I was more closely aligned with the Institute and the mailing list and everything. But right now, no, not as much. And I don't want to talk to people about an experience that they don't have or that they cannot easily access. All I'm going to say is if you are here in Southern California, please contact me at the BiomedRx Health Center. You can look us up online, BiomedRxHealthCenter.com, BiomedRx.com, BiomedRx Neurofeedback.com. And come to the BiomedRx Health Center at 751 West Foothill Boulevard in the city of Upland, at the corner of Foothill and San Antonio, Foothill Boulevard and San Antonio Avenue. You know, I don't want to beat a dead horse. I just wanted to get this out. I just wanted to say that the majority of the human population is dealing with a certain quantity of neocortical dysregulation simply because the majority of the human population doesn't have access to neurofeedback. The majority of the human population does not have access to a technology that can physically work away the dysregulation in the neocortex and help a person to return to their natural balance. That's what we're doing. We're helping the brain return to its natural balance. Okay? And I didn't really mean this to be a commercial for the BiomedRx Health Center. I really didn't. You know, I didn't. And I don't, right? But I just wanted to share something that's brought me a lot of peace in my life. I mean, you know, things like, you know, constant focusing and concentrating and painting and, you know, the things that I normally would do, you know, when I was younger, when I was a child, when I was carefree, before I was traumatized. Well, in my case, that's kind of, we'll talk about that on other videos. But the carefree state that we're supposed to be, right? Return to the state of natural balance of your brain that you were meant to have, that you were supposed to be, right? Where you were supposed to be. And that's it. I mean, I don't want to, you know, I don't want to take up too much of you guys' time. I know how difficult it can be to have a food truck in LA. Having to park in 3 spaces, being harassed by restaurants and the police, and having competition from other food trucks. Plus, there's no guarantee that parking in one location all day is going to make enough money to even pay for the parking. That's why I developed Job Site Route. Job Site Route connects food trucks to construction job sites. Our smartphone app delivers a daily updated route to all of the construction job sites in Los Angeles. Construction workers are able to pre-order food from your menu and pay for it through the app. Regular street food patrons will also be able to locate your truck and order food through our app. In addition to construction sites, we also include film locations in our job site route. Visit jobsiteroute.com today for more information. Yep. I'm not going to beat a dead horse. I think I've said what I was going to say for this video. And if you have any questions, just comment below and I will definitely address them. Please subscribe to this channel and be sure to watch the future videos. Like I said, tomorrow morning I'm going to go live again from the BiomedRx Health Center. I'm going to do neurofeedback on my own head, and I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you what the process is like. I'm going to show you my imperfect brainwave activity, and you're going to see through the course of the therapy how you can smooth away the what we would call undesirable brainwave activity. All right. So peace and love to everyone. Thank you for joining me. Everyone stay kind, because kind is not only the new sexy, kind is the only sexy, like I always say. I want everyone to stay blessed, and I want everyone to stay healthy, okay? Subscribe to BiomedRx TV and subscribe to all of the Devin Lockett channels. Just the ones that look like me, just the ones with images that look like me. Look at the videos and make sure it's me. All right. I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. I hope you guys have had a wonderful weekend, and I wish you a very productive and prosperous week. I even wish myself a prosperous week for this week coming up. Okay? So God bless you and good night.
Gold label quality BiomedRx CBD oil is made from organic hemp that is locally grown, glyphosate-free, gluten-free, non-GMO, homogenized, third-party tested, and CO2 extracted. Visit www.biomedrxcbd.com.
BiomedRx Optimum Woman is the only woman's high-potency full-spectrum multiple vitamin supplement to contain 56 nutrients, including those most important for today's woman, such as calcium for bone health, iron for healthy red blood cells, beta-carotene, biotin for nail and hair health, gamma-linoleic acid from evening primrose oil, octasanol, grapeseed extract, a potent antioxidant important for maintaining capillary strength, and vegetarian digestive enzymes. Visit www.biomedrxsupplements.com